It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name's Mike.
And this week, we've got set photos for a couple movies. One of them showing off Supergirl's costume, Mike. If you squint, you can see it from a distance.
I would say, are we talking more set photos, or are these stills from a drone? Because I've seen drone footage flying over these sets now.
Well,
where are all these net bazookas that I've seen? Where's all the anti-drone enforcement on set?
Right. Well, maybe they want the hype, Mike. Maybe they want the hype. We don't know yet. Maybe they like seeing it. But also, we've got some set photos confirming returning Legacy X-Men characters. So those chairs may not be lying to us after all. Last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago. We're going to drop a trailer for the Predator's next animated outing, which you just watched. So you got some fresh thoughts on that and more. Yeah,
I do have to apologize this week. My voice might sound slightly different to listeners as I just underwent a minor sinus procedure. So I was joking with Chris and my wife the other week that, maybe my voice will dramatically change because they put a balloon up my nose and kind of widen my sinuses. But that was just a couple days ago. So now everything kind of is swollen up there. So I might sound maybe extra nasally when I think before the normal kind of affect of my voice had a nasally quality to it anyway. But there could be a chance that once the swelling goes down in a week or two, maybe next week, maybe the week after that, maybe I'm sounding more luscious and smooth on the mic. I don't know. It could be anything.
Well, or I throw a voice changer over your audio track here in edits, and you'll never know. You may sound weird already on the way.
You know what? It does. It almost doesn't even matter because before this, we have 518 episodes of audio of me talking. We'll just create an AI filter, and we can return myself to my normal voice. I
would literally hate to subject an AI to us for the past 10 years of episodes, but at the same time,
I keep doing it, but the graphics card keeps melting. I don't understand.
Yeah, it keeps shorting itself out. Really, it's like, goddamn, these dudes. But I'd be interested to see what it turns out. But no, you sound kind of like how I felt like over here, in the Midwest, Mike, I would say Midwest, I guess, the middle of the U.S. where we grew up. It's like spring, and like the trees and pollen are starting to come out. So like you kind of sound like you have just like maybe minor allergies. So nothing too bad on this.
Yeah. It was a surreal experience because they get you all doped up on painkillers before you go in. And then they do some like topical anesthetic inside of your sinuses. So like you don't really feel anything while they're doing it. But the literal language that they used in my like take home pamphlet was like that they would be quote unquote crushing things inside of my head. Like to remove this anomaly, we are going to be quote unquote crushing it. And like you can hear it happening inside of your head when they do it. But like, you're like, I'm like so doped up. I'm just like, this is wild. This is kind of crazy. It kind of sounds like somebody's like breaking a pretzel inside of my sinuses. Wow. So if your mind already was not engaged, you're engaged now in this podcast.
I'm a little squeamish.
I took you on a sensory journey. But surprisingly, after saying all of that, the recovery super simple. I needed like one extra prescription painkiller like right afterwards, and then I barely even needed Tylenol all weekend. So this is something that you feel like you need done in your life. I highly recommend it. Super easy, in and out. I didn't even need to take an hour out of my day to do this whole thing. Wow. So that being said, we might be hearing a new mic in the future, but currently I might sound a little stuffy.
Yeah, you sound pretty good. I've heard you worse on the show. Does that help? I've heard you sound worse. So I'm gonna before we get into the news here, I just want to give a shout to listener friend of the show, Patrick. He traveled from Fort Wayne, Indiana, to my house this weekend, Mike. Left his children behind. Said to hell with them, and he came down here on his own. Very allergic to cats, Mike. And how many cats do we have? 3.
Enough.
Yeah. But he much like you, he didn't have any cat allergies because we keep our basement pretty clean, which is awesome. But he came down because he backed on Kickstarter a while back the Elder Scrolls board game, which is called Betrayal of the Second Era. So if you're familiar with any Elder Scrolls game, Mike, have you played Skyrim, Oblivion, any of those, Daggerfall?
Familiar. I would go as far as to say I'm familiar.
I played a lot of Oblivion. I had a really bad experience with Skyrim, on a glitchy experience, not the game itself. But this game is essentially, very thematic to the Elder Scrolls lore. You play in the actual locations. Your race that you choose, your classes you choose are very thematic with the game. It was very fun. Like you play in sessions of about 3 sessions. And we did all 3, one full campaign, if you will, in about 10 to 11 hours yesterday, playing all day. And it was really fun. I really think to bring it down and play it, because it's also like one of those companies that makes, like, when you buy a game, you're like, oh, I hate the cardboard. It's going to tear. It's going to bend, that kind of stuff. Well, as Patrick explained, this company makes all their sheets and stuff out of PVC. So, like, you don't even need to laminate them. Like, they're, like, really nice plasticky handouts.
Nice.
The character cards, like I guess your character sheet, where everything is, like, you keep your dice and you can see everything, is actually a foam mat with cutouts. And I'm gonna drop it in your chat so you can kind of see what it looks like with, like, the character cards and stuff around it and the items. But, like, this is a nice little foam thing to keep tabs of everything while you're playing.
Oh yeah, I'm looking right now. Yeah.
So a lot of colorful dice. It was a really good time. Like, again, if you like Elder Scrolls, this game is and you like long board games. This is really, really fun, really exciting game to play. And as he explained, the game was so popular, and the company is a very upstanding existing board game company. They've already got, like, expansions planned, and they actually put some of the expansion data in this one. So it's like you can choose mission or quest 1, 2, or 3. Quest 3 is in an expansion that's not out yet. So, like, they're already planning for extra stuff, so you can come back and replay things and get different results. So, very excited. It was a good time. So I want to thank Patrick for that. And he also played Time Crisis 3 with me on my connected PlayStation 2s, because I was like, I need someone to shoot things with me. Who's gonna do it? Patrick did. So thanks. Thank you, Patrick. I know you're listening, and for coming down and spending the weekend with me. It was a good time. Moving into the news, Mike, we're just going to kind of jump in here. First and foremost, Academy Awards. This is something that we don't normally talk about on here, right? I don't have high regards for the Academy Awards over the years. They feel kind of forced, and, there's just a bunch of old white dudes telling you what their favorite movies are. But one of the things that will, I wouldn't say affect us, but maybe get more movies that we talk about on the show, superhero movies, comic book movies, silly things like the Predator movies into the Academy Awards, is that they're doing an Academy Award for achievement in stunt design that will begin with the 100th Academy Awards in 2027. So you might not know the specificity of this, because I'm just grilling you and asking, because I assume you have all the answers. Yeah.
Does this mean films that come out in 2027, or is this the award show that airs in 2027? So it would be 2026 films.
It's the ones that come out in the show that airs in 2027. So I believe.
Okay. So
I believe
so
not.
Next year releases will be qualified.
Yeah, because they've already made the announcement while the season's open. It'll be the next full year of movies.
Gotcha. Well, this is super good. I mean, the two films actually the number one film that jumped into my head was the John Wick franchise, for sure. I mean, an amazing franchise, birthed out of thin air from Keanu Reeves, and a directing powerhouse that was a stunt person.
Chad Stahelski, who worked on stunts for, like, Marvel stuff,
Yeah, and I'm sure he brought along all of his stunt compatriots to work on it as well, and they've crafted just some amazing set pieces that also blend really well with the visual effects too. So John Wick was the first thing that popped in my head, and then probably even more mainstream would be the thing that sells like the last 5 Mission Impossible movies, which was Tom Cruise like crazy stunting. I just watched the most recent Mission Impossible trailer that dropped like
last
5-6 days ago.
Yeah.
And intense. First of all, they that's a really intense cut trailer. They did a good job. And then of course he's hanging off a plane, which is extra hilarious because his hair is doing the most realistic thing it would do on it would just make a helmet. So he's like doing the most badass thing, but looking the most goofy.
He looks like Lloyd Christmas. He looks like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber, like Jim Carrey's little bowl cut. Going on.
So
with
I'm
that.
really curious. So I'm curious who's really going to be in contention that first qualifying year, and maybe if this is going to change movies a little bit, right? You know, will a film that I guess a genre film that never even really had a chance of being nominated before, except maybe in like costuming, aka that very first Suicide Squad movie, so shockingly an Academy Award winner, or maybe it's Golden Globe, I don't remember. It's shocking either way, right? Now these kind of mainstream movies can be now these films can at least go like, oh, we can still angle for a shot at the Oscar if we really tune in tightly these action set pieces, and they're not just afterthoughts anymore, or at least on some films, you know.
I do have a concern on that regard that some movies or some productions may try too hard, and hopefully they don't overdo it and somebody gets hurt in real life, right? Like, oh, we're going for the best stunt award and we accidentally killed somebody, or somebody's somebody's hurt really bad. So hopefully, you know, we'll be optimistic here that people will do it, like as they're continuing to do it today safely and effectively.
Yeah, I have similar sentiments of obviously you want people to stay safe, but also there's another part of my brain that's just like there's like professional athletes like on a football field like every weekend that are basically risking like concussions every minute of the game, and it's like nobody's like worried about them. I guess maybe some people are. So I don't know. I think if you're getting paid for it and you're consenting, jump off as many buildings as you can.
Yeah, do it safely. I think I don't agree with your football euphemism, because I think it could be safer as well. But anyway, we did. You mentioned Mission Impossible. There was that Thunderbolts behind the scenes featurette we talked about last week as well. Remember, it had Florence Pugh kind of diving off of that. In our notes, if you guys are interested, I thought there were dozens of actual categories for the Academy Awards. Come to find out, there's not that many as I thought there were. So I actually included the list of them in the year they were created. There's some awards have been removed over time as well, but the last time a new category was implemented was 2001 with the Best Animated Feature Film. So it's been it'll be over 25 years between new categories. And before that was 81 with Best Makeup and Hairstyling. And then before that was 1948. Best Costume Design. So we've seen very little
big gap.
Yeah, very little fronts on this. 40 years, or I guess 30 years, 20 years, another 25 years. So it's cool that they're adding more stuff in. I think, was it one year they tried to do most popular film? Was that like a year they tried to do that? Like not in that, like a special category, not like a real award or something, to try to get superhero movies in. But yeah, this is pretty cool. We'll see kind of how that pops up. Just in time for them to announce a new John Wick movie the other week, Mike. With all that going on, the animated movie and the sequel, right? John Wick 5. Moving on to possibly best animated movies. Now, this isn't in contention, but it is pretty cool. Hulu has released a trailer for the upcoming Predator: Killer of Killers movie, coming to Hulu in 2025 in June. Also directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey, which brought Predator back to the mainstream, and is also directing the upcoming Predator Badlands movie coming out this winter.
Yeah, this was super exciting for me to watch because I saw this drop a couple days ago and I kept forgetting to watch it. And now I'm just a fresh couple minutes off of it. And the first thing that stuck with me was the art style. It feels like they're leaning into kind of what Arcane on Netflix did, this kind of very painterly style. You kind of said it reminded you of Puss in Boots
The second
a little
one.
bit.
Yeah, The Last Wish.
Yeah, which obviously you have to change the kind of overall tone and feeling. But yeah, that painterly style is still definitely in here. And then this is always a joy whenever we get to talk about Predator stuff, because I get to just go on and on about Dan Trachtenberg again, who, Chris, he is, for a way to co-opt his story, he used to be one of us in a way. Back in the day, he had a podcast with two of his friends where every week they talked about video games, movies, and TV shows. And then all of a sudden, he's making these short films that are getting attention and notice. And he starts directing feature films like 10 Cloverfield Lane and Prey. And now he's the Predator guy now.
Yeah.
That seems to be his stake in the ground of like, he's going to refresh the entire Predator franchise now. And I think that's awesome. It's so cool to see success. Honestly, he's probably more like you because he actually went to film school, and I know you did as well. I'm just dude that really likes watching this stuff.
Still, like, but when you're passionate about something and you put your energy into it, you can have a podcast and still be doing that stuff on the daytime. So absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just really exciting. So I'm always a big booster for Dan Trachtenberg, and maybe this will make him a little bit more of a household name now. But this anthology series looks awesome. I love this idea that
it's a movie.
Predator.
It's a movie.
No, it's a film.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, this is a movie. One movie with 3 anthology stories inside of it, not necessarily a series.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better because that I need more one-shot experiences in my life with a 9-month-old at home.
Yeah.
But I like this idea that predators, they just love visiting our planet. Like, hey, you want to have a fun hunting vacation? Go check out Earth. It's wild there. It changes every 100 years. It's pretty nuts. Go see who you can fight now. And then we're just desperately here inventing religion that focuses around these invisible monsters. It's so wild.
Yeah. So, quick description here. It's an anthology movie. It follows 3 fierce warriors in human history: a Viking raider guiding her young son on a bloody quest for revenge, a ninja in feudal Japan who turns against his samurai brother in a brutal battle for his secession, and a World War II pilot who takes this guy to investigate an otherworldly threat to the Allied cause. And what was cool about this was, I didn't know it was an anthology going into this, so it was cool to see the different eras, but like also the predators, like they're fighting. It's not the same predator 3 times, right? It is 3 very distinct predators with different visual, styles to them. And I was kind of on the fence of whether you would like this or not, Mike. I was like, I don't know if he's going to like it. But then I saw a ninja get speared, and then the blades of the spear flung out and cut him in half, because this will be R-rated. This will be very R-rated. There's blood, there's dismemberment, there's decapitations. A pilot in an old plane gets speared through, then pulled out the back of the plane from...
along with the engine as well. It's so badass. The ninja segment reminded me also visually of Blue Eye Samurai, which kind of also had kind of that trendy, kind of painterly art style. But yeah, this looks awesome. And this kind of answers a question we had a while ago on the podcast where we knew Trachtenberg was working on a new Predator film, but then also they hinted that like there's a new thing coming like this year that was also like kind of hinted at. We're like, wait a minute. This year, like... how are you going to drop something that we haven't even heard of? And we never even assumed it could have been an animated feature. Yeah. But this looks amazing. I'm very excited to watch it.
Yeah. So for Trachtenberg to get 2 Predator movies in 1 calendar year within 6 months of each other is fantastic. I think this is great. Yeah. And obviously,
also, I must mention one thing I do know about his career. For a while, he was directing very highly polished video game cinematics. I don't know if it was for Blizzard or maybe what franchise it was, but those things that look like absolutely flawless and beautifully rendered, he was directing those. So he is totally familiar with animation, the pipeline, what you can and can't do. So he's pitch perfect for this.
Right. Well, I mean, it also. I mean, just to throw it on there, he did do the pilot episode of The Boys show, which we talked about, and he also has been working on Black Mirror. But I know Black Mirror's back in the news with the new season starting to drop right now. So, dude's been everywhere, doing lots of stuff, lots of fun things. So, 2 Predator things in 1 year. Pretty excited, and they both like it. Honestly, looks good. Right at the end of the day, that's what we want. Good Predator stuff. And then we got Predator TV show. We got an Aliens TV show. We had a good Aliens movie last year. Like, we're eating good out of the 80s stuff, Mike. Like, I feel if you were here right now, I'd give you the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the hand clap, the hand grip.
Oh, the Carl
Weathers. Yeah, the grip when we flex on it. Yeah.
Yeah, glisten.
That's right. So June 6th, 2025 on Hulu, you can catch out Predator Killers. Speaking of video game movies and TV shows, The Last of Us has officially been renewed for Season 3 at HBO before Season 2 drops. There might be potential spoilers ahead. I'm going to try not to say anything if you are not familiar with The Last of Us video games. But just so you know, the way that the first game is pretty much the first season, right, Mike? Season 2 is a much longer game. A lot more story in it, a lot more characters. Kind of two leads, if you will, and there's a big event that kicks off. I don't know if it's fairly early or if it's like, but it's definitely the first half. I don't think we're gonna get. I think this season will end on that event, and then Season 3 will be the other half of the game.
It's kind of funny. Me and my buddy were getting lunch last weekend, and both of our wives watch the show and love it, but me and him are the only ones that have played the games, so we have to find a way to have like these cryptic conversations about like, oh, Sunday, do you think they're going to do the thing, and what episode do you think the thing's going to happen on? And so we're like strategizing this to try to come together to see, oh, when is it going to happen? So he is a lot more plugged into the original creator of the video game that's also involved in the TV series as well. And he was saying that it seems like the door is not necessarily closed on more volumes of the video game, right. More chapters, more parts, but maybe they haven't quite figured out what they want to do just yet. I mean, if you put like kind of like your producer hat on, there's no necessary reason that the world of The Last of Us couldn't technically function like the world of The Walking Dead on television. Everyone's in the same post-apocalyptic scenario. You could just tell different stories in different pockets. I guess it just depends on what you want to lean into. Obviously, I don't want them to go down the quality path that The Walking Dead.
They'll do Resident Evil instead.
Yeah, so just totally curious, how many seasons does the show have left in it? And we'll know so much more. It premieres tonight. I'm just a couple hours away from watching it. And Chris, I don't know if you're planning on watching it this week. I mean, we can talk about it a little bit.
I gotta catch up on Daredevil first, and Daredevil ends this week.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to grill you. Every week I've been asking you, isn't this week the last episode of Daredevil?
And I promise, Mike, next week I will be caught up on Daredevil by the time we
better.
record.
Yeah. If I like message you on Saturday and like I haven't finished it yet, I was like, I don't care. You're gonna stay up as long as it takes. You're gonna finish this.
I've got a big event going on this week, Mike, that you know about. Whenever I'm done with the event during the day, I'm going to come home and I'm going to be watching the episodes till it's done. We are about halfway through. We're just a couple behind, so it's not bad, like at all. I just haven't been up to date every week with it. So, but between this, and then when does Andor drop? I think Andor is soon.
It's towards the end of the month, I believe.
April 22nd. Yeah, so we're a week away from that as well. So literally after Daredevil comes out, the next week is Andor season 2. So. For good content, we're eating good on seasons right now. But yeah, so The Last of Us, I know they've talked about part 3, but obviously at the same time, the creator of The Last of Us, they've re-released the first game and the second game like as regulars and remasters and PC versions, and then updated versions of those versions so many times. I'm really surprised they haven't done a part 3 yet. But at the same time, was it Neil Druckmann and is it Naughty Dog who does this?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They can take their time and make a game they want to make, I think, with PlayStation, because they do so good with it. Like, they do such a great thing. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised, sadly, if that's like a PlayStation 6 launch game kind of thing, right? Like Oh, we saved this for PlayStation 6
that would
to
be
sell
a,
consoles.
that would be a console mover, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. But anyway, so Last of Us officially renewed for season 3. Season 2 will be going on now, so that means they'll probably get into production on season 3 much quicker and have a turnaround a little faster, right? So we'll keep you posted on that. We've got some set video of Millie Alcock on set for Supergirl fighting on top of a tank, and she's in her Supergirl outfit, which looks just like what everyone assumed it would look like. A girl version of Superman's outfit, and kind of like her comic book. So I'm trying to figure out in this video, where did they put her? Actually, it's in the second video. I'm gonna re-upload the link here, so anyone watching the show notes will be able to find the link proper. But Mike, I sent you the photos earlier, right? You were like, "What am I looking at here?" I'm like, "It's Supergirl." You can see it. So they're getting a
lot of use out of those shipping containers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This seems to be like, is this like the sandbag on a film studio? We love sandbags for everything to hold stuff down, and we love shipping containers because we can make a wall in like 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, well yeah, you can move them around and like maybe not even move them because Marvel's using them for their sets, right? We saw on the whole, so they're using the shipping containers, blue screen. My favorite thing are the people holding the fans in the background behind her on the link I just updated in there, like making like it look like the tanks are moving with the wind. So they're fighting people. Someone was like, "Oh, it's Lobo." It's not Lobo. You can see pretty clearly that this is not Jason Momoa in this video. Looks pretty standard fare, if I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't have any big news on this, but it is nice to see them outside filming, on these big, I guess, space tanks, if you will, rather than, hey, we have a blue block you're going to stand on, and we're going to replace it with a tank in post-production. And then you sent me a photo of, like, what someone is saying, the reveal of her suit, which I think is just fan concept art of her suit based on this video, which looks pretty close to it. There's nothing really remarkable about this Supergirl suit, Mike. If I'm, I know we put it in the news. We only try to talk about remarkable things and things we can have long conversations about. Yeah. But like this looks like literally just the female Superman.
I would say this is more of a warning out there now of with AI image generators. Everyone is familiar with them trying to create something that looks, real and accurate, right? AI is touting this future where everything is like production ready, that can go on the big screen. But you got to remember, you can fake it in the opposite direction now too. Just before we started recording, I didn't even bother sending them to you, Chris, because I figured it was fake. But it was like, oh, could these be leaked set photos of what Robert Downey Jr.'s like iron?
Is it the is it the gray beard? You didn't look click on it, but I saw
the gray beard, like
I was
like, and it's just like it's almost like you can just tell the chat bot to be like, make it look blurry, make it look like it was taken like from a PDF, like printed out at an angle, make it look like it was on a set. You can
the
tell
dry erase board that Kevin Feige has in his office.
Let's make it look believable. So I was just like, I'm not even gonna say. I'm not surprised you already saw it anyway. So we have to be so scrupulous now. It's crazy.
Yeah. And we pride ourselves on the show to try to not put any fake information here and do our research. Right. Now it's more applicable than ever since we started the show. But yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see what it really looks like. But like for Supergirl, they're actually, this is a filming. They're out there filming it. Kind of thing, and it's pretty cool to check out. And then also we put the link for the concept art, or I guess it could be AI art that Mike sent over, not because it's bad or like a fake, but like if you were like, hey, I saw her and I had someone draw it for me professionally, this is what it would look like, right, in action. But again, I'm not thrilled that again the DCU is focusing on two Superman people right away. Oh well. We're going to go into some Scooper news. This is some really interesting stuff here. So the rumor from Scooper, I think her name is Grace Randolph. Are you familiar with her? Pop up.
No.
She's not that well liked in the Scooper community. But apparently, Matt Reeves is going through something similar to a quote Chadwick Boseman situation. So could be maybe himself, maybe someone in the family. Like someone is probably very sick in some capacity. I don't think anyone is dying or will die. And another scripper came out and said, this could be misstated, but the situation is unresolved for the filmmaker. So it's like, could be if they were an example, if they have cancer, they're in remission, they're after, or they've gone through chemotherapy, they're not all the way back to capacity yet in that situation, right? So it sounds like Matt Reeves, like all the Hell people are saying, like, give us the Batman 2. Why are you waiting for something for the Batman 2? Maybe, hey, he gets to go through his situation before we kick it up a notch, kind of deal.
I guess we can't know if this is true or not, but I suppose this is always a good reminder that the people out there making the things that we like are human beings, and even though we like to kind of put like a faceless mask over people like executives, and it's like the big IP machine, and they're just trying to churn out money. There's somebody on that set, a lot of people on that set that are trying to be creative and put their whole heart into it. So this is a good reminder that maybe when some things are delayed, there is a human factor that is going on. So that's what I'll take away from this. That everyone is squishy meat, and we're fragile.
Right. And the thing is, what I appreciate about this, if it is true, and making some assumptions here, that the people at Warner Brothers, maybe DC, maybe it's James Gunn, Peter Safran, I don't know, maybe this was before them, is at least, hey, we want you to do this, take care of the thing first, and then come back to the Batman, right? It's not like, hey, we got to get the Batman out, so, you're out of here. That is our next bullet point, that someone says, hey, if the movie doesn't start production by January, which is the planned production date, it will most likely be handed off without him. But, it's not a statute of limitations, but like maybe like an expiration point. But like, hey, we want you to do it, but it's obviously not good for you or us right at this time. Maybe he'll get to come back to it if he doesn't. But yeah, you're right. It's like, hey, the delays aren't necessarily because he's lazy. He's not sitting around on a beach, drinking a margarita and be like, yeah, I'll get to that Batman script eventually. Like, there's probably something really going on here at the end of the day, which is sad. I did have a fun thing when I was looking up, stuff, the images to put in our YouTube video for the show, looking at the Batman 2 from this week, and it was like people are pushing Mr. Freeze still for some reason, right? And you might remember, Mike, Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin from the 1997 range. Wouldn't it be fun if his son Patrick Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze in the Batman 2? Like the actor Patrick Schwarzenegger. I don't know if that's something.
Sorry, my microphone was on mic there for a second.
Oh no, it's fine. I don't care. So hopefully that's not too out there. But I was like, he's a big name these days, doing actor stuff.
I mean, that is a surefire way to never get out of the shadow of Nepo baby, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to do the same role my father did.
Well, it'd be funny if he did it good, though. I mean, compared to him reading puns off in the 90s.
Yeah. Also, there's definitely a very specific. I'm talking about producer hats. There's definitely a producer out there who's putting his hat on, going, "This is $1 million idea. I'm going to cast his son."
I hope. If not, I hope they at least throw us a bone when they do it. Obviously, because we're here, we got ideas. We'll do it. But yeah, so Batman Part 2 still on track, but we'll see kind of how that production kicks off, because this also came up because Robert Pattinson is joining Dune Part 3 as the villain. I don't know if you saw it as well. So Robert Pattinson, they just want him in all the movies these days. Did you watch Mickey 7 by chance?
No, I haven't had a chance to see it.
I think he's good in it, but the movie's still not that good. So, yeah. Well, let's shift some gears as we kind of get to the show here. We don't have a lot of notes, so it might be a little shorter episode. But first thing I did last Monday morning, Mike, was hop online and buy my tickets to the Thunderbolts, which is coming out in less than a month, May 2nd or 3rd. It is coming out. Mm-hmm. So hopped on there, and they have a little teaser here, a little trailer. Kind of shows some fun things like. The cool part about the thumbnail is it shows like a negative version of I believe that's Florence Pugh, but it looks like they mentioned specifically the character, or not the character, the name The Void in this. So I'm like, oh, they're getting to my Sentry stuff, Mike. We're getting closer and closer to Sentry the whole time. Red Guardian saves a girl from some stone. I forget he's like super soul serum powered, I guess a little bit, like not a whole lot. It's kind of fun to see all this. We're getting closer and closer to this movie I never thought we'd ever get at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is where listening to our podcast for the last 10 years finally pays off, because you've been listening to a host, aka Chris, who is in love with this character, the Sentry. So now you finally get to see how Chris reacts to seeing his favorite character put to screen.
Yeah.
So I'm just as excited as everyone else is to see how Chris reacts. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Well, yeah, you all gotta live through my huge disappointment of when they tried to do the Inhumans. So hopefully we're on the other side of the coin this time. With this, but this movie looks fun. I think it's got a great team dynamic. The casting's great. I sent Mike an image. So on the in this, you get to see the team, like obviously Bucky and Red Guardian standing side by side, and I sent Mike a video of like Sebastian Stan and David Harbour filming something else, and David Harbour looks younger than Sebastian Stan right now in real life for whatever they're working on. So pretty fun stuff. I got nothing else for this, but the tickets are available. I'm going to go check it out. I'm still disappointed in the popcorn bucket selection this year, Mike. I feel like there are going to be a lot of phone-ins for movies this year. Unless we get surprised. We could be surprised.
You bring up a good point when it comes to popcorn buckets in my head of, we saw that kind of leaked popcorn bucket the other week of what the Thing could possibly be the popcorn bucket for the Fantastic Four, right? I could even imagine maybe like a Herbie, like a robot. That's an easy win for a popcorn bucket.
That'd be pretty solid, yeah.
But what do they do when they get to one of these big event movies, like one of these Avengers films where it's just littered with characters? You have so many options for popcorn buckets. I mean, it seems like you could probably increase the quantity, right? Of just like, well, instead of us doing 2, maybe we do 4. We can spread out. Maybe since we know we're going to have these different groupings, let's do like an X-Men bucket. Let's do an Avengers bucket. Let's do a Fantastic Four bucket.
Well, I think they will, and they kind of do that already with like different movie theater chains, like because like Regal has different things than AMC, then it has different things than Cinemark, which is kind of a pain in the ass. I wish they were kind of more universal with that, but you do bring up a good point. What do you do with that? Did we talk about it on the show, or did I send you the Doctor Doom mask bucket idea from Boss Logic, right?
Yeah.
Which was really cool. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, do we get like, is this like one of those situations where they'll just do, like you said, multiple buckets of like different characters just printed on the side of a metal tin a lot of the times rather than something physical, something unique? Will there be a MacGuffin of some sort we don't know about for the movie that they could turn into an item? I don't know. I really don't know. I just hope. My fear is that we've peaked at popcorn buckets, and now that everybody has to have one, they're going to be trying to reduce the cost and make them cheaper, and we're not going to be seeing the innovation that we saw last year. Is my fear.
We're doing a speed run, a capitalism speed run with these popcorn buckets, aren't we?
Right, exactly. And we're not a political podcast, but I'm going to assume a lot of these are made in China at this time, Mike.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even consider that, Chris.
So unless they already have them in here, they're probably, those already $30 pieces of plastic are going to go up quite a bit in that regard. But, I don't know. I'm excited to see where they go this year. But, obviously, Thunderbolts coming out. I do think, we're a couple weeks away from Thunderbolts. Like 3 weeks or so. I'm gonna go ahead and say now we're gonna get a Fantastic Four trailer with Thunderbolts. Do you think so as well?
Yeah, I mean that seems like a clear win. There's gonna be lots of competition in July, and Fantastic Four is the last one of the month. I think. Yes. So they're gonna need to stand out.
Yeah, it's Jurassic Park to start July. And then I think a week later is Superman, and then 2 weeks later is Fantastic Four. And I think, honestly, that's the best way to do it, to be at the end so you have some legs afterwards, right? Like, I think if you don't go see Superman the first 2 weeks, you're probably, you might go see Fantastic Four instead if the word of mouth is good enough with that. So, man, can you imagine like a galactic Galactus head popcorn bucket instead, or like a Galactus head zipper.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more expensive because you get extra popcorn in it. It's like bigger than their biggest popcorn bucket.
He is a hungry dude. He's eating planets. It's got to be a big bucket. And then like you use those things on the side as handles for it because it's so big. Or do we get a Silver Surfer nacho board? Like instead of a nacho boat, like is a Silver Surfer board that's like a tray for multiple things in it?
I don't see why not, Chris.
Man, I'm hungry. All right, let's keep going. Well, let's just jump into Avengers Doomsday. We've already been talking about the fake photo of Robert Downey Jr. With an Iron Man / Doom mask and suit, and he's got gray hair and gray beard, and it's really fun, and it's so bad looking. But I've got some actual photos people have taken, or a photo or two, of James Marsden and Ian McKellen on the Avengers Doomsday set. So James Marsden returning as Cyclops with his iconic red glasses, and Ian McKellen in his Magneto cape and kind of black clothes from the original X-Men era movies, right? When they didn't really try too hard for the suits.
Yeah. Chris, imagine a world where they didn't do that 5-hour-long chair reveal, and we were getting these set photos. Like the internet would be on fire. We would be speculating like nonstop on today's show, seeing these photos.
Yeah, and I think that was the point, right? We know we're filming outside with these actors first, and Marvel said there's more announcements coming. So absolutely awesome to see this. Ian McKellen returning. I don't know how old he is. He felt old in the first one, right? Like he was a World War II Holocaust survivor in 2000 for the movie, and now he's 20 years later doing this. And he even has talked about returning as Gandalf for those Lord of the Rings movies they're doing. I'm like, buddy, I applaud you. That's awesome. So we get to see these characters together for the first time since I think what was it Days of Future Past? Was it when these characters were together? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I don't know about Magneto, but Logan went back to the school and there was Jean and Cyclops in that. But moving on, another set photo is James Marsden and Benedict Wong, and this is James Marsden in the same outfit. By the way, I did compare the photos back and forth. He doesn't have the glasses on. This is behind the scenes between trailers. I do want to call out. They did not announce Wong on the chairs, Mike. Benedict Wong did not get a chair a couple weeks ago.
Because Wong is ever present. He is the glue that is holding these last phases together. He's in everything. Yeah. You just assume he lives on set. Yeah. They build him a little apartment so he never has to leave.
Right. He's actually he's like shadowing Kevin Feige, so he gets all the tidbits and news and information for the movies and brings it into the movies with him, kind of thing.
I just found out that they're filming the last two, or I guess next two seasons of the Three Body Problem continuously, and he is a star. I think he is high up on the call sheet for that TV show. So I don't know. Maybe they also shoot. I don't know if they shoot that show also down in Atlanta, but he's a busy guy.
Well, this is not in Atlanta. This is in England for these. I remember.
Well, actually,
the UK.
Now that they actually might. I think parts of that movie were in England. Hey, maybe that works out for him better.
And he's also a British actor, so he might just be on set. Like, there's no guarantee he's there, but he's wearing.
He does just live down the street, but he's just always lived there, even before he was in the movies.
Yeah, but also he's wearing like the Wong color. I hate it. He's wearing the color from the movies that he wears, right? Like when he's Wong from that. Really, yeah, like I'm not surprised he's in there. Also, the sorcerers can actually punch through dimensions. If he has America Chavez, he can actually go through all the dimensions he wants as well. So, this is fun. I like seeing these like kind of candid set photos with all these actors we're familiar with, right? It's been a long time since we've seen the X-Men like this. It's a little nostalgia bait. They're filming Doomsday. We talked about last week the rumor that it's this week. I've forgotten the weeks. That the set photos we saw last week are rumored to be the X Mansion under attack. Then these photos came out. So
all of those impact craters are supposedly at the X Mansion.
Yes, that is the rumor. Like that is actually like the grounds for the X Mansion. And
you know, I'm if we're taking bets trying to make things interesting, I will go ahead and take the other side of what's causing the craters, because you're in Team Impact and I'm in Team like warp teleportation, like appearing suddenly. I think yours is the most obvious and is probably which makes it true. You are probably right, but I'm taking the other side of it to make it a little bit more interesting.
I want to say my previous statement last week was that it looks like things are coming out of the ground, like eruption craters rather than impact craters.
Okay, but, like a mole man type situation.
Yeah, kind of, because like the way the ground is like split around them, it looks like they came up out of the ground. But again, these are set photos. They'll probably be touched up a little bit. We'll never see the full details in the movie. They'll be nice and blurry for us, but I'm enjoying that this is filming. It's like it feels like coming home. Does that make sense? Like, oh, they're filming an Avengers movie again after what feels like a decade,
forever.
And
we've gone through an entire pandemic and financial crisis since then. We've lived 10 years,
right? And they're bringing back characters that we haven't seen very often or even at all. So
James Marsden is also like he's really hot right now in Hollywood. He's been in the Sonic movies. He's been on like I feel like 5 streaming shows. So he's a commodity.
Is he? He's not in that White Lotus, is he, or something like that? Recently, was he in?
No, not the most recent one. I don't recall.
What was he in?
I don't believe
so. Paradise. Oh, it's the show Paradise. That's what.
Oh,
the president.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, I keep seeing him in clips somewhere. Where's he at? So yeah, James Marsden. I don't think this dude's aged. He looks the same as he does now, as I feel like he did in the early 2000s.
He's sipping on that one of those One Piece fruits, the same one that Paul Rudd's on, making himself young.
That's true. I keep seeing also a photo of like him and Sonic in a car. What other movie is he in where he has like another little...
It was I've seen it too. It's like a rabbit. It's like an Easter movie or something.
Oh. What is that called?
Is it Hop? Is it just called Hop?
Yeah, it is Hop. I looked up Hop. And then also there's like people have done a third one where it's him as Cyclops driving around with Rocket Raccoon in the passenger seat. So yeah, I like him. I think he definitely did I think he made a mistake by leaving X3 to go do Superman Returns, but I don't think X3 would have been any better with him in it at the end of the day. So either way, that's fun. Last bit of news from Scoop is that they're building a spaceship on the Doomsday set, and I was going to call out there in the Avengers Secret Wars, Mr. Fantastic builds an interdimensional like life raft, essentially. And that's where he's like, okay, we can't win, so I'm going to build a life raft that everyone can come in and it'll like survive the incursions and live. But in the middle of it, it gets split in half. So like only half the team, arrives on this battle world months later, while the other ones have to are being affected by Doctor Doom.
I like it. I mean, the super intelligent characters within comic book storytelling may be overlooked because they facilitate a lot of cool things happening, right? Like Wolverine is not finding out how to warp dimensions to go fight the bad guys, right? He needs somebody smarter to get his claws where they need to be. So it's kind of fun that the MCU has finally started leaning into it. But taking their time, right? Because it has to be believable, right? We got to see the seeds of it with Tony Stark and Bruce Banner like fighting on the Quinjet in the Avengers, talking it out all smarty and stuff. And then they did a whole act of Endgame was them just trying to figure out how to time travel and making it seem believable. So I am sure a lot of groundwork is going to be laid in that Fantastic Four movie, so we can believe that Reed Richards could truly enter our like MCU dimension and build something like that.
Yeah. And speaking of, a lot of people are pulling a lot of ideas from the comic books in like their own fan stuff, because I sent you a Doctor Doom Dr. I guess God Doom versus Thanos video that someone made based on like the interpretations of Robert Downey Jr. and Josh Brolin's Thanos based on the comic book. Remember, it was like called Doctor Doom versus Thanos, like cinematic. Like, is this AI? And I was like, yes. And it's like the scene from the Secret Wars comic where Thanos is like, "I will take you down, Doom. No one else will. I'll take you down because I'm Thanos. I'm inevitable." All this stuff. He's like, I once had an Infinity Gauntlet. You know, you're not gonna take me down. And Doctor Doom's like, "Well, do you have that now?" And Thanos is like, "Well, no, I don't need it." And Doctor Doom just like rips his skull or his like spine and skull out of his body, which is pretty awesome. Like visually, pretty awesome. So it was fun to see. We were talking about AI a lot in this episode. It was fun to see that kind of come to life, like from the comic book, right? Like I feel like, yes, I'll never see this exactly one for one in the movies because all the setup is not there. But if people want to take what things look like and turn the comic panels into like little clips, yeah, I'll probably watch that at the end of the day. I think that's a fun use of generative AI for that. And I've included the links in the show notes. Mike, I don't know if you saw the Secret Wars raft from the comic books, and then also that Doctor Doom versus Thanos cinematic AI video as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think Doomsday's coming along. I've got a little bit of hype about, behind the scenes photos. Fantastic Four is back doing the final reshoots before it drops this July. And some people have been sharing stuff online. I know we don't have Fantastic Four in the news, but if you want to say spoiler free, my guess for Fantastic Four is probably get offline or start blocking those keywords as well. But this is a very light show for everybody, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Anything else, Mike, before we hop off and get to our Sunday?
No, that's evenings? It. Stay tuned. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. Maybe do a little bit of a spoilery chat about the Last of Us premiere, possibly.
Yeah, we could.
We'll see.
I don't know if like talking about one episode in the scheme of things.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. We'll see. There's a lot that could happen on tonight's episode. So we'll stay tuned.
We'll do that. So people know what you're up to, what you're doing. Where can they find you, buddy?
Oh, they can find me at liferewardsrisk.com and pickledcomics.com. That's where I make my web comics. Chris, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
Yeah, and find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or video games of the same name. I picked up a Game Pass a video game called Blueprints. It's one of those. It's not a cozy game, but it's like a single player puzzle game where your uncle has gifted you a mansion, and it's like you have to find the room 46. And when you go into the mansion, it's blank. There's no floor plan. You get to pick the rooms that appear. If you get to the point where you can't pick any rooms that continue on, you end the day, come back the next day to another blank mansion, and pick the rooms again until you kind of get there. It's been really fun, really really casual gameplay. I like casual right now, so I recommend that. If people want to know about the show, where they can get all these show links, the links in our notes, or our upcoming release schedule, or anything in that nature, Mike, where can they get all them goodies?
Oh, all you have to do is visit superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find everything we do here for the show. So we have an awesome upcoming release calendar. We have all of our show notes there at superheroslate.com. We're on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you love listen to podcasts. You can get merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. Let us know what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're playing. And if you want to be a super fan of the show, all you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.